Okay, guys, and you're live with Force 13 and Force 15.
He's clicked the on-air sign.
Yeah, yeah, we're on the air now.
I know that.
Yeah. And bringing you the countdown to the Atlantic hurricane season, and anything else. Basically, we have live Q&A, which will be going ahead soon, and also, well, loads of other content, basically.
Oh, sorry, I was just distracted then because I was listening to ourselves talking at the same time as ourselves.
Yeah, you might want to turn that off.
No, don't worry, I have now. It's certainly going to be exciting, the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. I wonder what storms we will have this year. Early indications suggest perhaps not that many. The Pacific seems to be more active. We've already had a major hurricane, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, eh?
It's Hurricane Amanda, Cat 4. Well, I wish it'd come up to a Cat 5.
It almost did.
It
Well,
bottled out.
some of the satellite imagery, it's fairly suggestive that it could possibly be a Category 5 storm. It'll be interesting to see what the NHC do after, as they reanalyze the storm at the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe it could be reclassified as a Cat 5.
Could be. I don't know. Be interesting to see what they do, as I say.
Okay.
West Pacific, when do you think they'll get a Cat 5? It's going to happen sooner or later, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's normally a Cat 5 at least every year. There's at least one every year, isn't there?
Well, the last time there wasn't was about, I don't know, nearly 40 years ago, so way beyond our lifetimes combined.
Yeah. More than that, actually.
Yeah, more than that.
Okay. Anyway, guys, this is the live event itinerary for tonight.
There's a schedule? I didn't think there was.
Yeah, we've got it here. So we have from 10:30 to 11 is Q&A with me, myself, and Nathan. Also, at 11 till about 10 past, we've got the featured 2014 hypothetical hurricane season.
Oh yes.
Also we got 10 past to quarter past, talk about New Invest 93E. This next bit's going to be cancelled because Nathan hasn't got round to it, which is we were going to show Cyclone Education Week Part 6.
Oh yes, I'm still working on it, guys. You can show them Part 5 if you want, or...
Yeah, maybe. And after that, for about 5 minutes, we got the British weather forecast till past. Then after that, for 15 minutes, we're going to review the tropics in 2013. Then we got the live project update. And that's well, mainly the videos that Nathan does, and
every Monday now.
For the last 3 minutes, we're going to do any other comments or questions are answered. And then the countdown to the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season.
It's like New Year, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fantastic.
And then after that, we'll bring you a live tropical weather bulletin from Nathan.
Oh, now you're putting pressure on me, eh?
Yeah. And then maybe maybe from 12:15 to 12:30, we might talk about the new projects which have been recently launched, which is mine, and also, I don't think this will go ahead, but we did have a friend that started Force 14.
Stealing all the numbers, they'll be going up to Force 50 something soon.
But yeah, but I don't think Force 14 is going to go ahead with anything. It's been founded, but I don't think anything's going to happen.
Fair enough. None of those are particularly related to me. Those are run by other people, such as Michael here. Perhaps you might want to tell the people about yourself a little bit, because most people are probably only familiar with Force 13.
It's Force 15, you said 13.
Yeah, my project, Force 13. I mean, Force 15 is a pretty new thing.
Oh yeah, getting frazzled. That's a new word. Okay, Well, I'm sort of following the footsteps of Nathan, just like some animating, which I'm epically failing at.
Well, you've all got to start somewhere.
You know, come up with a few good ones, but they're a bit shit.
What's your language? It's a public broadcast now, Michael. Come on.
Okay. Anyways, so what's first on the itinerary?
Do pardon me if my mind is like a fish, like a goldfish, because I forget what is on the itinerary. Don't swear again, please.
Guess what?
What?
We don't have any bloody viewers.
Fantastic.
We could maybe stick this on your channel later, couldn't we?
It doesn't bother me. They get views eventually. Look, people come in and out.
Yeah. So some
I'm the one under
Americans.
no pressure because I'm the only one on camera right now.
Hang on. I'm trying to sort that out as we speak. I can't multitask. I'm not a woman.
Unfortunate. Technical problems at Michael's
Or
end.
am I? No, I'm joking.
Well, I'll leave that up to the viewers to decide. Perhaps I should fill in for you a little bit, maybe. I gotta tell you right now, at the moment I'm currently creating a tropical weather bulletin number 78, which is June the 1st. It's on my screen, which is right behind right behind this camera right now. So the screen's over there, and soon, perhaps you'll get to see it. And I'll do a bit of a mobile weather update and tropics update. Of course, Invest 93E, we'll touch on that later, could become a tropical storm and possibly strike Mexico. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of all that a little bit later on. Anything to add, Michael?
No, just saying, hopefully this will just get some views maybe later. I don't know.
Don't worry about the views, just worry about having fun.
Yeah, have fun and just talk.
So what was on the itinerary? I forget now. I have an awful memory, you know?
Open up the PowerPoint I sent you.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah, okay.
Because I've got that up on my screen right now.
Alright. I've got so many things going on, so it's difficult to find. What's this?
How many gig RAM does your PC have, Nathan?
It's... I think I know, but I just want to check to make sure on my system. Yeah, 8 gigabytes.
8 gig?
Yeah. There's the timeline. Oh, so it's supposed to be a Q&A. So, okay, right. So who's got the questions and who's got the answers?
Oh, we got a viewer! Thank
wow,
you,
Michael.
whoever that viewer is.
Don't make it sound like you're being desperate here.
No, it's just telling me that we've got one viewer.
Stop looking at the numbers. Start talking questions. I can talk all evening about particular storms if anyone wants to talk about those, or the upcoming season, what I think may happen. Don't swear on air.
We just lost a viewer again. Bollocks.
I won't even tell you to stop anymore. It seems to be not having any effect at all.
And also, it's after Watershed.
Alright, fair enough.
It's after 9 o'clock.
Okay. Well, it's not in America, which is where all the storm people are right now.
Oh. Okay.
You know, the UK isn't the centre of the universe.
We know, with the central time zone.
Okay, I'll give you that. Which we're not following at the moment. We're an hour ahead.
Oh yeah, I think we're on British summertime.
That's right. Doesn't feel like summer very much though. More on the British weather a little bit later on.
Okay. Mum?
Well, whilst Michael takes a little break, go on.
What you talk about Hurricane Amanda, which was active recently?
Well, Hurricane Amanda formed on May the 23rd, became a tropical storm on that day. I think it was an invest since the 19th or something like that. I was looking at the track file recently when compiling some information together. Hurricane Amanda obviously intensified very quickly, became a Category 4 storm. Blink and you miss it, and it peaked, of course, as we touched on earlier, as a Category 4, almost a Category 5 storm with 155 mph winds and an air pressure of 932 millibars. And then the storm curved its way towards the northwest. It's sort of a little period where it didn't know where it wanted to go, and it stalled for quite a while, for a day or two, and then it began to move north and then weakened, and then it had a second burst towards the end, putting it back into major hurricane status for a few hours, and then finally died down and dissipated off the coast of Mexico, not too far from Socorro Island, which is part of the unpronounceable islands, as I call them. I can't even remember how they're spelt.
Also, yeah, the women, they're so undecisive where they want to go.
I guess.
Is that a joke?
Yeah,
it's a
joke. The islands, the names of the islands is the Revillagigedo Islands, and why would you name something so confusing for normal people?
Gonorrhea, puppies, made Apistan. That's what they're called.
Yeah, that was Amanda. So if that storm's anything to go by, then the rest of the season looks like it's going to be a bit of a well, an active one for one. Another storm could form very soon. I don't think we'll see a strong storm out of that. 1 or 2 people on Predictor Storm predicted a Cat 2. It looks like at the moment you'd be lucky to see a hurricane out of that one, which is fortunate because it'll take a similar track to Barbara. Yeah.
You know, you were saying earlier to me on Skype that it would make a crossover into the Atlantic.
It's not impossible. It's looking less likely than it did before. The remnants of the storm might move over into the Atlantic. Nonetheless, it looks like we could see a system forming in the Atlantic, in the southern Gulf of Mexico, in around 5 days' time. I'm actually going to look at the latest computer models. They haven't done any regarding the invest in particular just yet, but I'm expecting some soon. I'm also just clicked through this. You can probably hear my mouse clicking all the way.
Yep.
And actually the models have changed. It now hints at possibly a disturbance forming just off the Yucatan Peninsula in around 7 or 8 days' time now, which makes it much less likely because at that time period you really can't take anything for granted.
Also, if anybody has any questions that comes to view within the next couple of hours, maybe an hour and a half hour, something like that, just like give us some questions and we'll answer them.
Absolutely. Do our best to, anyway.
What would you like to do now, Nathan?
What would I like to do? I'd like to have a nice long sleep. Well, I'm just looking. The GFS model is still predicting a storm to form in the Atlantic, and it's actually predicting it to stall quite a while near the Yucatan Peninsula on the western side. And at the end of the forecast period, 6 or 7 days, 7 or 8 days time, it has it as a significant storm, possibly a hurricane, over the central Gulf of Mexico, and could be a threat to Florida if that verifies.
So we could maybe be looking at maybe a C1, possibly but unlikely C2 landfall.
It's very, very early to speculate on anything like that. We don't even know whether the storm will form or not yet. In around 4 or 5 days' time, we'll get a much better picture, I think.
Well, we've got 93E at the moment, which has 40% chance of forming within the next 48 hours. But
that's going to form.
That is going to form, isn't it?
That's going to be our next named storm. I'm quite confident of that. It would be a big surprise if it didn't, because everything is going for it at the moment. I've not quite looked at all the main forecast things. Well, I've looked at the forecast, but the sea surface temperatures, they're fine. The wind shear map, I'm just looking at that right now. Wind shear, it doesn't, it's not too bad, the wind shear. It's sort of marginal in places, but where the storm centre is right now, it is certainly going good for it over the next few days. And as far as moisture is concerned, again, it's a very moist environment all around the storm, the whole region really. So I think everything's going for it.
Okay, and also, do you think? Oh box, what was I going to say?
Sometimes.
What was I gonna say?
I'm not.
Oh yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, do you think we could see another Central Pacific storm this year?
I'm not too sure. I don't know is the answer. There were almost 3 last year. I mean, it was. It depends how the Western Pacific does. Bearing in mind that the Western Pacific might well be active this year, I think it could happen.
The West Pacific.
Go on.
The West Pacific was relatively quiet last year, wasn't it?
It's had a quiet few years, really, hasn't it? Since 2000.
But it's had where it's quiet. It's had very intense storms, hasn't it?
Well,
like Haiyan of last year.
Haiyan being the only exception, really. Bopa was, whilst it did hit land so far south, which is a surprise, it was nothing. Well, I say nothing special in that regard as far as Category 5 storms go, but of course it was still a very powerful storm. Yeah, Haiyan was something else.
Okay.
And part 6 of Cyclone Education Week, we'll be covering that.
I am just going to take a 2-minute. It's just going to be 2 minutes because I'm just going to try and fix my webcam. Okay.
2-minute interval.
Yeah, you can just talk about whatever.
Okay, I'll talk as best as I can about the fantastic subject that is whatever.
Talk about what's like longest lived storms in the Atlantic and other basins?
Longest lived storms. Atlantic is still the San Kiriako hurricane of 1899, which formed in September and dissipated in October, as far as I know, or something like that, or August and September or something.
What's the longest lived in the world?
In the world, it is Hurricane John in 1994 in the Pacific. It formed in the Eastern Pacific and became a Category 5, and then passed Hawaii, past the international date line into the Western Pacific, then came back into the Eastern Pacific where it turned post-tropical, and that lasted for 30 days. Since then, only storms that have come close is Nadine in the Atlantic in 2012. We all know about that one, I think, which lasted 22 days or something like that.
Didn't another one recently come close?
Not as far as I can remember. The one I remember a lot is Typhoon Ayok in 2006, because just how long it travelled at such a high intensity. But I don't think that set any length records.
I was going to interrupt you there. I'm just going to take a 2-minute break because my brother's on the phone because I needed to ask him something.
Thought you were already on that break.
I'm just going now.
Well, there you have it. Force 13 takes over for 2 minutes. Anyway, well, what's Force 13's future? Of course, we're going to be doing lots of storm updates throughout the summer into autumn, Northern Hemisphere at least. Doing updates on every single storm. If you want to get in touch, you can do so. The channel's Force 13. Just search it online. You'll find it, and of course it has its own dedicated website and plenty of other platforms as well for you to get involved. The website's rather interesting because it's probably the most up-to-date tool that I create, where it has the storm tracking pages showing all the current storm information and any warnings that are currently in effect, and advisories as well now. There's a few rain advisories in effect for Mexico right now. No tropical storm warnings or anything like that, of course. No tropical storm has actually formed yet. But we may see some of that later on in a few days' time, depending on how this storm forms in the East Pacific. And on the 413 website, you can also do your very own predictions. 2014 predictor season, that's been going since last November, and that's going on till this November. But sooner you predict, the better, because you're more likely to get more points in that case. And also predict a storm. You can predict storms.
Hang on a minute.
What? Hanging on.
Okay. Yeah. Hang on. I'll call. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I'm already 1 minute through my speech.
I'm doing a live event with one of my friends, and
Oh, you're talking to someone else. Okay. Anyway, you can go and predict a storm where you go along with predicting the current upcoming storms. Don't drop your microphone. Predicting upcoming storms in the Atlantic
just in time
and West Pacific.
I'm just going to tell him something. Hang on. Nathan.
Yes, we could hear you loud and clear, by the way.
Just saying. I'm just sorting something out at the back of my computer. Just a heads up, it might shut off without warning.
Your computer's going to go boom boom.
Just a heads up.
Excellent. Well, guys, you heard that. Michael is the one with the controls, F15. I'm just a special guest more than anything to chat storms for 2.5 hours whilst we come up to June the 1st. But I don't mind plugging my stuff as much as I want. So yeah, predict a storm. It's rather interesting. The Atlantic today added a feature where you can also predict the location where it makes landfall, and also a possible secondary peak. If you think the storm has a secondary peak, you can also predict what its peak intensity will be along with its first peak and many other characteristics. If you've not seen it yet, go on the Force 13 website, force-13.com, on the Predict a Storm page. And there's plenty more on the site as well, including database pages, which I will be updating soon. They're a little bit out of date, so I'll be getting onto them. Certainly a big job going on there anyway. Hope you're enjoying the videos on both the channels. And yeah, more to come, as always, as has been the case since Force 13 launched just over 2 years ago. The YouTube channel in November 2011, though there were animations before that, and started doing the storm updates in mid-2012, when the first storm I did an update on, I think. I sort of did a reflective summary. Oh dear, that's not good. Reflective summary I think I did on Tropical Storm Canoon in the Western Pacific, which was about the 7th or 8th storm to form in 2012 over there. So for people who don't know too much about storms, tropical cyclones, they form in the tropical regions, and Cyclone Education Week, which went out today on the Force 13 channel, will tell you all you want to know about tropical cyclone activity, and how they form and where they go, and notable storms of the past and stuff like that. Documentary style. They're not too long, these videos, around 5 to 10 minutes, and hopefully it gives you a good insight if you are a little bit of a novice, perhaps by your own admission, or even if you are, if you know quite a lot about storms, been following these sorts of things for years. I still found out 1 or 2 things whilst compiling this documentary, and probably will do in future as well if I make any more, which is a high probability, I think, but not anytime soon, I don't think, because we've got storms to track this season. Michael, how's it going with your computer and technical problems? Is he there? It appears he is not with us at the moment. I can only do so much here on my own. But yes, any predictions on the upcoming season that you'd like to just relay through the comments or whatever, you can do so. And we'll read any comments out, any questions out at the, I'm guessing, just before midnight. And then up comes the big midnight hour, and we begin with a tropical weather bulletin for June the 1st. We'll be covering Invest 93E predominantly, because there are no other storms out there at the moment. A little bit of bad weather over the Yucatan Peninsula. I've not looked at the West Pacific, but there's no invests there, so I doubt there's any real disturbances. There's a few clouds here and there. The southern, southwestern Philippines, Palawan, northern Malaysia has a bit of weather over it at the moment, as does the central tropical region over the said too much there, by the way, over the Micronesia, sorry. Brain went to mush for a moment there. Seems to be a bit of cloudiness over there too, but nothing that's likely to turn into a tropical storm anytime soon. I'll show you all the model runs and the forecasts on 93E very soon, when the time allotment allows us. I've done enough talking to last 3 tropical weather bulletins or something like that. A note on hypothetical hurricane seasons. Now this is really important actually, because it's 4 minutes to 11 p.m. local time here in the UK, and at 12 o'clock tonight, midnight, is the beginning of Atlantic hurricane season, of course, and that is also when hypothetical hurricane seasons close to the public for the foreseeable future. Not sure if they'll ever open again, except for in contests. So if you'd like to send your own in, I would do it very soon. You've got an hour to send in your hypothetical hurricane seasons before before they close, possibly forever. So I don't mean to scare you or anything, but if you are interested in sending one in, then you must do so by 12 o'clock, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Otherwise, you'll have to enter one of the contests which we will be doing. Usually, it's probably going to be December and every March, where we do these contests off season. There are lots and lots and lots of hypothetical hurricane seasons on request at the moment, well over 30 in as far as I can tell. So patience, of course, is very important. I know I said that quite a while ago, a week or two ago, on one of the project updates, possibly repeated it a little bit. I know videos of hypos have been uploaded since then. Apologies for that, but I have been working on Cyclone Education Week and other projects.
Yeah, Nathan.
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just finishing off my my fill-in for you. And that lost me track of where I was. Hypothetical hurricane seasons. Yes, you should submit now. There's a lot in the list. Do be patient with that, because it's a season as well.
Yeah.
Storms forming. Can't do it all the time. Takes many hours to create and such. Michael.
What, the black?
He's vanished again.
One?
You can still hear him in the background, so I'm doing my best to talk over it to avoid any unprofessional speeches or thoughts. That's an unfamiliar voice in the background. You can also watch a satellite imagery of Major Hurricane Amanda's progress, which I uploaded a day or two ago on the Force 13 channel. It's the second most recent video, and you can see how it progressed. And maybe you can make your own mind up on whether you thought it would reach Category 5 intensity or not. We were discussing that earlier. So I wonder whether it was or not. Personally, it's such a tight call. I think they were right, personally. 155 miles per hour. Air pressure was 932 millibars. But I've been wrong before, and maybe they'll change it in their post-tropical analysis. It certainly could have gone either way.
Yeah, it's just the top left and the bottom right.
I'll tell you what, let me do on this right now.
I prefer the black one, so I'm just going to change them over.
What?
Technical difficulties and wires moving here and there.
I'm done. Almost done, Nathan.
I'm trying to think of stuff to say now. I'm really struggling. I could talk about absolutely anything, but I'm trying to keep the storm based because Michael told me to. No, he didn't actually. He told me to talk about whatever, didn't he? But it's a bit personal things are personal, you know. Is that the end? Is it all fixed? I think I should go over there next time and try and sort their IT issues out. Looks like the police have come over now as well. I'm still the only one with a screen. Well, perhaps I can show you what this next tropical weather bulletin is looking like. Here it is. Showing my webcam to the screen. That's like the project file, and this is the result so far. It's the beginning of the tropical weather bulletin. As far as I can get my webcam to show, you know, the area where it has. It's still got Amanda there, but it's gone now. Of course, that map's going to be updated before it goes online later this evening. Yeah, I know a lot of people ask, a lot of newcomers ask about what software I use. In case you're wondering out there, I use Serif Movie Plus for what I do. A variation of some older software and newer software. It works best for me, personally. I mean, there are other things out there which are more advanced, stuff like Sony Vegas, Premiere Pro, Adobe, but those are just a little bit too complex, really. When all you want to do is make a quick Storm update, which you can do in an hour on this software, and it takes 4 times the amount of time on there. Albeit I've not used them that much, so probably could get used to them a bit more. But yeah, they have better effects, but I don't think personally it's likely to do so much with just simple software, even free software. I mean, Serif Movie Plus is free in itself. It costs much less, but it isn't free. But even with free software, you can do quite a bit more than you could probably think of. But yeah, Michael, are you back?
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
That's a good start.
Okay, so let's just get back on with it.
Let's get back on with it. I've been waiting for ages. It's 11 o'clock now. It's 11:02. That means we need to play the 2014 hypothetical hurricane season. I assume you know how to do that because I don't.
Yep. Hypothetical hurricane.
He's typing it
in. Yeah, pretty much.
Could have just give you the link. There it is. So how does this work? Will this appear on the screen in a minute, or?
Yep.
That's good.
So here we go, guys. Here comes 2014 hypothetical hurricane season.
Yeah, don't forget, this was suggested by someone who finished a contest, was voted the most in this contest for their submission, which we did. What happens in these contests is we hold them, and then people vote on what people have submitted in their tracks. Oh, I'm back. Is it just me? Oh, here we are.
Okay.
Oh, that's very nice. Go for it.
Just getting rid of the ad.
Apologies.
Okay, guys. So here we go. Here comes Tropical Storm Cristobal, which
It's already going. It's a bit cut off.
wanders in the Atlantic and dissipates.
Slightly cut off, isn't
Oh,
it?
should we restart it?
Ah, that's much better. Well, you've already started it now. You missed the first
Restart
storm,
it.
man.
Yeah, restarting.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so it's June 2nd and Subtropical Storm Alpha has formed. Just ponders about. There's the random dot. There's the random landfall dot.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually, no, that's just the tropical invest that just made landfall.
People have commented on that, and I refuse to comment in reply. Just use your imagination.
Substorm Bertha becomes tropical storm and then just goes over Florida and dissipates because it's sad. Late June coming into July. And we got Cristobal, which I just said earlier, that's ponders in the Atlantic and dissipates.
Another weak tropical storm.
Yep.
Similar to one of the storms we had last year. I can't remember which was it, Erin?
Yeah.
And
Here we go,
Dorian, yeah.
Dolly. we've got Dolly. Comes into the Gulf of Mexico, becomes Cat 1 before
Fantastic.
making landfall.
First hurricane of the season in July. It's not unheard of. And then we
Coming
waited.
into August, it's just Edward.
Not quite. Edward.
Edward.
Subtropical storm.
Just ponders, and then becomes extratropical. Passes Bermuda.
Did a bit of a loop there, didn't it?
Yeah. Then we got Faye.
Fantastic Faye.
Not
Second hurricane. And a strong one as well. Cat 4.
Cat 4 just before landfall.
Similar to Brett of 99, actually.
Here we go. Got Gonzalo. Just a Cat 1 landfall in the Dominican Republic.
That's right.
And we got Hannah. Landfall.
You're slightly ahead of me.
I don't know.
Landfall in Nicaragua.
Just a tropical depression line in Mexico. Isaias,
Isaias, I think.
Isaias.
Something like that.
Isaias. Becomes Cat 3, second major. Then becomes a Category 4.
Brilliant. And Josephine, 2 storms at once for the first time.
Isaias weakens. Josephine becomes a Cat 4.
And Kyle forms right behind it.
Josephine, still a Cat 4. Kyle weakens, so does
Actually
Josephine.
reminds me of Earl and Fiona of 2010, that one.
Yes, Kyle gets absorbed by Josephine. Marco just going off back towards Africa and making landfall in Africa.
But that should never happen. I'm sorry, it should never happen.
And then we've got Laura.
Laura was a strong
Category 4.
Cat 5
Cat
landfall,
5.
wasn't it?
Cat 5 landfall, yeah.
I forgot to put on the landfall top there. Oops.
Then we got Nana.
That
That just
again.
goes off.
Laura still made it to Nova Scotia before landfalling. Caused about $50 billion in damages or something like that. Who knows?
Then we got Omar.
Another subtropical
That's
storm.
just subtropical.
3 or 4.
Then we got
so far.
Paulette and Reen that form at the same time. Reen becomes the 5th major. Just peeking at a Cat 3.
A lot of majors in a season.
And Sally forms, becoming a tropical storm. Landfall in, I think it's a peninsula of some sort. Cat 2 landfall in
The landfall in
Mexico.
Veracruz.
Then we gotta have Teddy. I want to cuddle him, even though he's a Cat 4 hurricane.
Cat 3 landfall into Cuba. 6 majors. 10 hurricanes. And just
19
passes by
storms.
Bermuda.
Vicky, Sicky Vicky. It's just a normal tropical storm, nothing
Normal
major.
tropical storm. And that's the end. There you have it.
Look, strongest landfall 160-mile-an-hour Laura 5 landfalls. And longest lived storm was Heidi for 14 days.
Oh, I might have not changed that. Oops. There wasn't a Heidi, was there? I use templates, you see, and it goes from one to another. Still, I don't think anyone's noticed.
Until then.
I noticed myself. Oh, you did. What's going on now?
Hang on. Alright, now I'm just turning screen share off.
Uh-huh.
There we go. I think the screen share is off.
Sorry, I'm just typing.
Okay. Yep, screen share's off now.
What was the first storm you ever tracked?
Oh, that's a good question. It was one of the 2011 Atlantics. I think it might have been Katia.
Oh yeah, the one that hit the UK afterwards.
Yeah. It was either Katia or... No, I tracked... Actually, no, I tracked Irene.
Okay,
I
that's
remember I
slightly
tracked
before.
Irene.
What came before Irene? Harvey, I think it was, immediately before Irene.
I think I tracked some East Pacific ones. I think I tracked Dora and Eugene.
Okay.
I think that was about it, though. I think it was Dora, Eugene, sort of those ones, and Irene in the Atlantic.
Fantastic. The
My
first
first,
storms I ever tracked. Go on, first. You go first.
my first West Pacific. I think it was the first one in 2012. That's when I started looking at the West Pacific.
First one of 2012. I keep forgetting my years. Which one was that?
I think that might have been just a tropical depression. I think the first major storm that I tracked, I think might have been Sulik.
That was 2013.
Oh no, not Sulik. I'm getting my years mixed up.
The first major storm of 12, I think, was Guchol.
Yeah, that's it.
Iron Cat 4.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so next onto our itinerary, which we're 2 minutes late for.
It doesn't matter.
Invest 93D.
Well, before we do that,
So
I
what
want to talk about what I wanted to talk about is when I first started tracking storms. My first storm was. Yeah, thanks. My first storm was. Oh goodness me! It was Hurricane Bill of 2009. Was the first storm I ever tracked.
Nice.
And then I was sort of on and off. I remember Fred. I remember
Wasn't
East
Bill a
Pacific.
Cat 4?
Yeah, Cat 4, Fred a Cat 3, and I remember tracking Rick in the Eastern Pacific, Cat 5. Second last one we had, actually, in the East Pacific. And, of course, I remember Ketsana in the West Pacific, followed by all the other ones that whacked the Philippines that year, like, what was the other one? Palmer made 3-4 landfalls over the Philippines, over the northern Luzon Island in the Philippines, and just stayed over there for days and days. Kept everyone
Did
guessing.
it slowly weaken?
Yeah, it did, and then it went out over the South China Sea and re-intensified a bit. That was that, and then of course I did my first updates in 2012.
Nice. Okay. We'll skip 93A because we've already covered that.
No, we must not.
No.
We must not.
Oh, okay.
Let's do a little bit of an update on 93E. It's currently 30 mile per hour storm with an air pressure of 1009 millibars, and it's, according to the NHC, 40% chance in the next 48 hours, 70% in the next 5 days. I imagine that will rise quite a lot in the next 24 hours, and I really wouldn't be surprised if in 24 hours we will have our next tropical depression. That's it in a nutshell.
Nathan,
Yeah.
I just saw another stroke of lightning.
Where's that?
Yeah.
At your place?
Yeah. It's another strike of lightning.
Wow. He gets all the bad weather and I don't. How about that? It's not justice.
Yeah. Do you want to trade?
I've not seen a lightning strike since October,
Have you?
before
Okay.
Hurricane Week. I haven't seen a lightning strike since. It's awful. I'm just looking at the UK now. Are you sure you had a lightning strike? I'm not seeing any bad weather at all near where you are. What? There's just the odd spot of drizzle here and there. There's absolutely nothing here. I think Michael has had a problem. In any case, oh yes, but Invest93, the models, it's currently located to the south of Mexico, the very southeastern extremity of Mexico, where it borders either Guatemala or El
You still hear me,
Salvador.
Nathan?
You're still here. You're back. Are you there? Seems to be fading in and out. But I'll keep talking anyway. I've lost my...
I think my thing just died out.
What died out? It's good when you don't get a response. The forecast calls for 93E to head north of its current position and make landfall. At the moment, the models are saying very, very close to where Hurricane Barbara made landfall last year, at a very similar time of year. Well, I can hear you, Michael. Unfortunately, if you can't hear anything, that might mean that I'm not here or that you're not here. I have no idea. But I'm going to keep talking anyway. And the intensity models for 93E, the DSHB model takes it to a moderate tropical storm, 60 miles per hour. The LGEM model doesn't have it as a tropical storm. It has it borderline around 35 to 30, around 38 to 39 miles per hour, which is just around the threshold for tropical storm intensity. And there's two outlying models that take it to Category 1 intensity, possibly Category 2. The track forecast doesn't explicitly say that the storm will move into the Gulf of Mexico, but a part of it, or its remnants, might do so, just like Barbara's remnants did, become Invest 90L in the Atlantic and survive for just around a day or two before nearing the coast of Mexico and dying out. Wind shears expected to be low for the next few days, no higher than 15 to 20 knots, which is tolerable for storms, and perhaps even as low as 0. Sea surface temperatures not a problem, 29 degrees or 28, certainly warm enough, certainly well above the 26-degree threshold. Relative humidity staying between 70 and 90%, very high, certainly good enough to support development. I think the only thing that's against it is going to be land interaction, and it will get close to land very quickly if this forecast model, track forecast, is to be believed. Michael? It appears we've lost him, unless he's lost me. But in any case, we'll try and get him back, or he'll try and get himself back, because I've actually got no power over how I will get him back or not. It's his show, I'm the special guest. But Invest 93E, still churning up the waters just south of Mexico. Its current position is 11.5 degrees north and 93.8 degrees west. Michael will have any viewer comments directed through to us or to him. So if you have any questions about anything at all, then related to storms, of course, then just send it through, or comments, or whatever you want to talk about. And if it's a question, I'll do my best to answer it. I know plenty of good questions out there. We're up to 26 storms this year so far, 26 which became 40-mile-per-hour storms, 11 of which have become hurricane equivalents, Category 1, 74 plus miles per hour, and 6 of those, Amanda being the latest, have become major cyclones around the world this year, and Amanda was the first one in the Northern Hemisphere to do so. We've of course had 2 typhoons already in the Western Pacific, Typhoon Tapper and was it Faxai? I think it was. I'll just verify that for you. I think it was. But we had Tapper, which was the most recent storm in the Western Pacific. Indeed, it was Faxai. And we also had 2 tropical storms there as well. 3, sorry. 2 of which affecting the Philippines, though not that badly. And a tropical depression as well. The Atlantic, of course, has seen no storms. The Eastern Pacific has seen 1. The Southern Hemisphere had a lively end to its season. The last storm in the Australian region was Ita, which struck the coast of Australia as a high-end Category 4 storm. Unfortunately, I was on my trip to Florida during that point, so I didn't see the progress of the storm very much. But indeed, it looked like a big landfall. I mean, looking at the track map, I don't know too much about what damages and effects it did have because I wasn't around. Wish I was, because I'd have made a few videos on that, but I could only do one mobile update here and there. They had it on at the National Hurricane Center. They were tracking the thing, just because they had nothing better to do because of the off-season of the Atlantic. If I'm still on air, I will keep going. And we had Tropical Storm 1, which formed very early on in the North Indian Ocean on the 4th of January and dissipated very quickly near the coast of Sri Lanka. We had a Cat 5 this year already, Cyclone Gillian, which formed in March. You may remember that it was on its way to disrupting the hunt for that plane which crashed in the Indian Ocean, or was believed to have crashed in the Indian Ocean in March. So that almost disrupted things, but it fizzled out just a bit too much before it got down to that latitude. It's quite a high latitude in the southern hemisphere, which the wreck was located. Though it was drifting towards the northeast. I believe the latest on that is that they've sort of abandoned it. Well, they'll keep looking, but it doesn't seem like there's too much hope in finding the thing. But they said that in 2009 with that storm that crashed in the Atlantic, but they did find it 2 years later or so, whenever it was. But there you have it. The time's 11:22 in the UK. It's 4:22 Eastern Time in the United States for many of our followers over there. And the Atlantic hurricane season starts here, at least, in the next 48 minutes. UTC is an hour behind us, which will put it to 1 AM. But the bulletin will be going out very soon after the after this video finishes. Unless Michael comes back and can fill in for me for a while whilst I get it done. But it appears he's disappeared, and I don't know if I'm on air or not. It says live in the top right corner, and it says that I'm talking, but I have really very little idea whether what I'm doing is actually going out. But it appears that Michael had technical difficulties. It's not very often where you have these live events where the person who's hosting it drops out and the special guest, which apparently is me, fills in for the next hour and a half. I try my best. In any case, next on Michael's itinerary for the night, I've got a bit of experience with this. I'm a radio host. The visual element means very little. He wanted us to show Cyclone Education Week Part 6 until 25 past, but it appears that Cyclone Education Week Part 6 is not finished. And apparently next he wants a British weather forecast. I mean, I could do a little bit of UK weather forecasting. It's been quite good recently here.